Live right here on this Thursday on the early line on SportsGrid. I am Ben Stevens. He is Donnie Rightside. It's NFL draft day, but of course it's the NBA postseason. Following a very interesting doubleheader last night that featured both of the number one seeds in either conference, we reset where the market is now after the first few games of this NBA postseason before we change venues in a triple header of Game 3 action on this Thursday. So, Donnie, on the left side of this graphic we will show, it's where the odds were entering the playoffs just before this weekend got started. In the middle, it's where the odds to win an NBA championship stack up at this current juncture. And, of course, on the right side, you'll see some movement, or we'll detail what that movement looks like. So, the Celtics were plus 120 to win the NBA title before the playoffs started, despite losing last night to Miami. Their price is still 5 cents shorter at plus 115. The Nuggets have looked like the defending and reigning champs. Their price has shortened by 70 cents. The Thunder's price has gotten shorter as well. The Mavericks' price longer. The 76ers in that 0-2 hole have seen their price more than triple at this moment at 60 to 1. The Clippers number longer with some injury uncertainty for LA, but the Timberwolves have seen their price shorten by nearly double figures by $8. Which number, Donnie, of those top 7 prices listed stands out to you the most?
You're probably looking at where I can get the most value at right at this point, because, we can't say, hey, I took this at the beginning of the season. Like, no, we're focused on the here and now, which means when the playoffs started and just a couple games into the environment. You pointed out as well, we haven't even changed venues yet. So obviously the Boston Celtics, nobody's panicking here based on what we saw 1-1. Oh, no, they can lose. But at the same time, I think this proves the point where the Celtics are in game number 1 and game number 2 of their series. The Celtics are supposed to be the NBA champions. They're supposed to easily dispatch of the Miami Heat, but we think the Heat aren't all that talented. Now, granted, it's a little bit disrespectful. They're still an NBA team. Eric Spoelstra, one of the best coaches. You get the point there. But they already lost a game on their home court. So I look at the Boston Celtics and say, even if I still think they're the best team, and they probably beat the Heat in 5. Do you see this, though? Yeah. The Heat aren't a great basketball team, and we might be in for an extended series, meaning could it go 6 games? That's not a plus 115 price. You know what I want to pay a plus 115 price on, Ben? If I won the first 2 games by 35 points, and it looks like I'm not even going to get a challenge until I take on, let's just say, the Denver Nuggets. So you pass on the Denver Nuggets. You see how I love the Nuggets, and I think they're going to easily win their first round series as they're up 2-0, and as I thought that before the series even started. But again, a plus 250 price to get through that craziness in the Western Conference, then only to face the Boston Celtics as we think in the finals, that's not a good enough price. But then you start to look at teams saying, boy, OKC, if they hit it right here at a 12-1 price, boy, that makes sense. Maybe I didn't want to take them before the playoffs started because this could have been one of those, oh my goodness, OKC's down 0-2 heading back to New Orleans and Zion's coming back. This was terrible. I told you OKC shouldn't have been a number 1 seed. But now you see them mature right in front of your eyes based on game number 1, the game number 2, and the feelings as we're supposed to be the 1 seeds, and now we're playing it like here. The one team I'm probably not buying yet, right? Let's just go to the top 4 teams. The New York Knicks at 14-1. Love what they've done. No. Stole a game in game 2 against the Philadelphia 76ers, but I don't like that price point either at 14-1. So if we're just looking at the top markets here, I like the Timberwolves 16-1, but OKC really has my eye because what wins out, Ben? Worst case scenario, home court advantage is yours if you just handle your business.
I mean, look at those odds. Again, Boston is plus 115, despite being tied at a game apiece in their opening round series and being stunned on their own home floor last night by Miami. Their price is still 5 cents shorter than where it was just about 5-6 days ago. Denver is not all that far behind at plus 250. And then we have a drop-off of nearly $10 to Oklahoma City. The odds makers expect, as they did near the end of the home stretch of the NBA regular season, for Boston to win the East, Denver to win the West, and those 2 teams to face off with an NBA championship on the line. If you even want to find some value because the Boston price is too short and you think there's a couple holes in the Celtics at this moment and you want the exact matchup, it's still plus 175 for Boston versus Denver. Not great value there. To pick the winner of said series, then you find a longer, loftier number at this moment, but I'm not sure there's great value in doing such a thing. The New York Knicks have seen their price grow drastically shorter at 14-1. Donnie, you and I both made the argument at this point just over a week ago that the value in the Eastern Conference was on Philly. Did not expect them to be in an 0-2 hole before they return home for game number 3 tonight against the Knickerbockers. But thus they are. The team that really stands out to me, the Phoenix Suns, 75-1 now, 24-1 entering this weekend. I thought I was prudent jumping on Phoenix around the All-Star break at a 12-1 number with the Big Three all in action and expecting this version of the Suns to make a playoff run. If they don't, what's the hope in the Valley? 24-1 before the playoffs began, now 75-1. Their price has tripled to win an NBA championship.
It is wild because the talent isn't matching up to what we're getting out of the Phoenix Suns. And talking with Davis here over the past couple of days, you look at the Phoenix Suns, like, Ben, they're not built to get swept in round number 1 of a playoff round.
No.
Like, they have 3 of the best players in the NBA all on their team. And that's all we asked for was, hey, guys, can you just get to the playoffs and be healthy? We don't even care if you played all that much. Talent is going to stand out. And certainly talent does. But the Minnesota Timberwolves also, sort of being that number 1 type seed all year long, losing Karl Anthony Towns, slipping down. Yeah. They're an unbelievably good basketball team. Superstar players, good coaching there, and playing great defense. That's holding up right now against the Suns. But still, you look at that 75-1 price. Because keep in mind, too, the Suns didn't have home court advantage, Ben, where you're saying, it's like, look, man, they just got beat twice on their home court. There's no way they can win this series. You can actually see this series going back to Minneapolis at a 2-2 tie. But then still, it's the best of 3, and it's home court advantage still towards the Minnesota Timberwolves. So yeah, I agree with you here. If you're looking at long shot prices, you take a flyer on the Sixers, you take a flyer on the Suns. And I always say this to keep in mind. Donnie, the Suns aren't winning the championship, and neither are the Sixers. It doesn't matter at that price point. They win a series, you're profitable here. So you're just betting on them saying, you know what? I better take them now because game number 3s are kitchen sink games. And what I mean by that is you better win or the series is over. So that price point is going to be much better right now if you figure they're going to win game 3 than after game 3 if they win that ball game.
It's a really great point. Both teams booked as a home favorite in game number 3. Philly tonight against New York. The 76ers laying 5. The Suns tomorrow night back in the Valley. A 4-point favorite at this moment against Minnesota. And just to compare, Philly is plus 350 to win its opening round series outright against New York. Out west, it's also a plus 350 price for Phoenix. Again, the books are saying there's a little bit of hope that these teams can make a run, and these prices are incredibly volatile as we get deeper and deeper into an NBA postseason, and they change on a nightly basis. If the Suns and or Sixers win in game number 3, those numbers are going to be a lot closer to a plus 175 or so number than they are right now at plus 350. Some big plus money prices then to win an NBA championship. And by no means are Donnie and I saying they are going to win that NBA championship or even their conference crown. But I do appreciate the point, Donnie, on Oklahoma City. 12-1 price, 3rd best number. If you're looking for value for a team that you actually expect to be there at the end of the race, the Thunder might present that.
Yes, and I agree with that. And also, there's we expect Boston to be there. And the reason why I'm bringing up the Boston Celtics is they're great. They've been there before. They've made deep runs. OKC doesn't know how to win yet, so they're learning on the fly. Every single game that they play now, and they pick up victories, Ben, as we said, now moving to a road playoff game where you're supposed to win that series here, I love it. You get OKC through this first round, watch out, because they're going to be sky high believing in themselves even more than saying, hey, guys, we have the number 1 seed. We're supposed to be here. We don't see it we don't believe it until we see it. Right. And you're going to see this live. Let's go, OKC. I think there's value.
Home court advantage in OKC as well. The Thunder, as we shared, now 24-13 against the spread as a home favorite this year. And that sampling of the top 5 to start off the playoffs, maybe a little bit different than we expected even down the home stretch of the NBA regular season. Regular season is one thing. We always expect the cream to rise to the top. In the playoffs, hasn't really been the case, at least as expected, just yet.